Hello, hello, hello. Hello, 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 hello. Right. Sorry for that disturbance. There was something wrong with the audio because technology. I happen to trust human beings more than I trust technology. In fact, I don't trust any of them, but fine. CAT, IIT, and JET. Because if you are a serious MBA aspirant and you want to make a career out of MBA, right? These are the three major exams that you should be targeting: CAT, IIT, and XAT. Okay. So now, when you talk about these three exams, there is a very important point that you need to remember, right? As far as vocabulary is concerned, the three exams demand different things. The three exams demand different things. For example, CAT since 2014 has not asked direct questions on vocabulary. Since 2014, direct questions on vocabulary would mean you are given a word, you are given four options. You have to mark the option that is either closest or farthest in meaning. You have to mark the option that is either closest or farthest in meaning. And then CAT had a lot of innovative ways to check your vocabulary. Fill in the blanks was one. Then they used to give 4 to 5 questions about confusing words. So they'll give you a set. They would give you a set of 4 to 5 sentences, and in every sentence, for a particular word, you could be given 2 options. For example, there would be a sentence, and in the middle of the sentence, you will find something like this. Egoist. This would be A / egotist B. And then you will have a sentence. This would be sentence 1. Then you will have sentence 2. Well, again, there would be 2 words which would be very close, very similar. और ऐसे एक ही क्वेश्चन में you would have 4 or 5 sentences. तो आपको देखना था in every sentence which one is the correct word, and accordingly you would mark the option. So your option 1 would be something like A, B, B, A. I hope you have understood. तो ऐसे बड़े innovative questions होते थे. You had a vocabulary table where on the left hand side you would have A, B, C, D or 1, 2, 3, 4 and 4 different senses or 4 different meanings of the word. And on the right hand side, you would have 4 sentences, maybe EFGH or something like that. And you had to match which sentence contains which particular meaning. Which sentence contains which particular meaning. You would have to match. So there were a lot of such innovative questions in CAT up to 2013. From 2014, currently, if you talk about it, over the past 4 to 5 years, there hasn't been a single question which has been direct vocabulary. However, now this is in complete contrast to what happens in IIT and XAT. IIT and XAT are more brutal on vocabulary than CAT. Okay, IIT has usually a set of 4 to 5 questions where they say they'll give you the word and they'll ask you this word is from which language, or this word came into English through which language. Is it Spanish? Is it French? Is it Latin? Is it whatever? Here, there is a very easy way you can find out for most of the words, but for which country did they come from, or which language did they come from into English? Okay. Usually it is said that if the word is very long, it's a German word. If the word has some legal connotations, it's the Latin word. If the pronunciation of the word is very different from the spelling of the word, then most probably it's French. I mean, theatrics. But then even for that, you need to know the correct pronunciation, right? How come you know that it's a legal term without understanding what it is? For example, I used to misunderstand something for a very long time. The Supreme Court has held that the proceedings would be held in camera. I never knew that in camera meant in a closed chamber where only limited people can enter. Specified people can look at the proceedings. I thought in camera would camera ke samne. That's what we usually think. But in camera का मतलब है restricted audience. तो ऐसे कुछ IIT में आते हैं. XAT में of course you have direct vocabulary given a word, 4 options. Mark the option which is either closest or farthest in meaning. All such questions would definitely be there in Xavier's admission test. Would definitely be there in Xavier's admission test. So that's the idea. So if vocabulary is not there in CAT, why should we study vocabulary for CAT? I did not say vocabulary would not be there in CAT. I said they don't check vocabulary in a direct manner. That means they check it in a very indirect manner. They check it in a very indirect manner. What manner is it? So let me give you an example. Let me give you 3 examples of how your vocabulary can be checked in CAT. You are reading a passage, and the passage is a review, a film review. A review of a film called 1917. I hope you have seen that movie. If you have not, it's a must-watch. Came out a couple of years ago. And the movie review contains a line that watching 1917 gives the viewer a visceral feeling. Gives the viewer a visceral feeling. And one of the questions could be, according to the author, watching 1917 gives the viewer what kind of a feeling? Or which of the following is the most appropriate term to describe the feeling of the viewers when they watch 1917? थोड़ा घुमा के पूछिए. In both the cases, remember, he is asking you the meaning of the word visceral. So it might be a question which is there in reading comprehension, no doubt about it. But what he is checking is your vocabulary. Example 1. Example 2. He'll ask you, what is the tone of the passage? He'll ask you, what is the tone of the passage? And we'll give you 4 options. He'll give you 4 options, like is it encomiastic? Is it elegiac? Is it excoriating? Or is it, let us say, none of the above? ये क्वेश्चन कभी कैट में आया नहीं है, so you should thank your staff and not your CAT paper setter. हाँ, तो अभी he is not only seeing whether you don't know the meaning of the word, he is also seeing that given that you know the meaning, can you read a particular piece of literature and apply it? And apply. Example 2. How your vocabulary can be checked in CAT. Example 3. There is a question. Which of the following ideas has been sanctified or deified by the author in the passage? Now you don't know the meaning of the word, which means you have not understood the question. How will you answer? How will you answer? Right? So, और कुछ वर्ड जैसे पैसेज में हो सकते हैं जिसका मीनिंग अगर if you don't know, you won't be able to understand the passage. It's quite possible. So that's how CAT checks your vocabulary. XAT and IIM are very forthright and very open. Very forthright and very open. I hope this part is clear to all of you. Right? Okay. So, having understood this, okay, we will not do any vocabulary today. That's why no study material has been shared with you. We'll just talk about a few things and how do you actually prepare. Because different people recommend different things. We'll talk about all those techniques in the last part of today's session. Okay. Now, considering this, what is the examiner's expectation? Simple. The examiner's expectation is you should know words. You should know words. Is this sufficient? How many? So let me give it a 300 to 400 words. 300 to 400, which words? Words which are used regularly in newspapers, words which are used regularly whenever you are reading an editorial or a business magazine or an article which is about politics, anything like that. That is what he expects. That is what he expects. You should know a few words. Now, that's fine. What does it exactly mean to know a word? What does it exactly mean to know a word? Point number 1. There are 7 aspects of knowing a word. We'll take each one of them. We'll try to take examples as well. First, pronunciation. Pronunciation. You should know how to say the word. Of course, nobody in CAT is going to come and check your pronunciation. I understand that. But when you are talking about knowing a word, you have to know how to say it without offending anybody's ears. And here, ever heard of a Scottish accent? Try to watch a comedian on YouTube, a comedian called Frankie Boyle. Right? His jokes are very offensive, but you won't be able to understand the jokes because he has such a thick accent. Now, I find it very funny to say a British accent. How can you have a British accent? They invented the language, it's their language. Still, in Britain itself, you can see many different, like a bowl of water and water. American says water. British is water. Indian is water. Right? So, Indians have this beautiful thing like England. Not only do they mispronounce words, of course, I am also an Indian, I might be mispronouncing a lot of words. Not only do we mispronounce words, we mispronounce them differently in different parts of the country. Right? And these people specifically, though I am also a South Indian, I am from Andhra, born and raised in Maharashtra, but native roots are Andhra. You have physics. Simple subject, physics. That's how we think. No. You go deep south, it's physics. You go to Maharashtra, it's physics. Right? So, it does not sound wrong. Remember, In XAT, I've already told you, in IIT, sorry, when you talk about which language has the word originated from, the best way is to know how the word is said. I've already told you that. Okay? Learn how to say it properly. Very important. Second is, of course, the meaning. You have to know this. Third, synonyms and antonyms. You need to know a range of synonyms and antonyms. But remember, this is not an easy job, knowing the synonyms and antonyms. Not only should you know the differences and nuances, differences, kya hai usme. I'll give you an example. Suppose, let me start with a very simple example. Enormity, and this was a CAT question prior to 2014. Enormity and enormousness. Now, obviously, both of them mean huge, but there is a difference. There is a difference. You always use enormity with intangible things. You always use enormousness with things you can see. You never say the enormity of the mountain. You can see the mountain. So you always say the enormousness of the mountain, the enormousness of the waves of the ocean, and so on. Got it? You never say, but you always say the enormity of the challenge, the enormity of the task. That's what you always say. Anyway. So if you want to, for example, say something is big, so many words. There are so many words. Enormity, जैसा मैंने बोला, enormous, gargantuan, colossal, immense, monumental, mighty, whopping, thumping. All of them mean huge. Megalith, huge. But just because they are synonyms, that does not mean you can use one word when you have to use the other. So these nuances, very important, very important. Okay, right. Fourth, you should know the part of speech. You should know the part of speech. Is it a verb? Is it a noun? Or is it an adjective? Is it a verb? Is it a noun? Or is it an adjective? Not only that. Suppose I give you a word and you want to use the word as some other part of speech. You should also know how that word will change. Okay. Many people I have seen get confused between practice with a C and practice with an S. Practice with a C and practice with an S. Simple. This is a noun, this is a verb. You need more practice. Here I have used the word as a noun. You need more practice. C. You need to practice more. Here I have used it as an action that you need to perform. You need to practice more. An action that you need to perform. It's a verb. Similarly, prophecy and prophecy, same difference. My prophecy is that. Now, I prophecy that word. तो पहले में C1, दूसरे में S1. The device is malfunctioning. CE. Now, the company has asked me to devise a strategy for improving the profits for SE. तो ये एक प्रॉब्लम है ही. एक और प्रॉब्लम क्या है? वर्ड भी चेंज होता है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, apprehend. To apprehend somebody is kind of to arrest somebody, but apprehension is fear. Apprehension is fear. तो ऐसे बहुत सारे वर्ड्स हैं जो थोड़े से कंफ्यूजिंग लगते हैं. Part of which are concerned. Remember, all vocabulary that you learn, it's either a noun or a verb or an adjective. In other parts of speech, there is not vocabulary. You don't have much vocabulary. You do have a lot of grammar. You don't have much vocabulary in other things, right? Then, fourth, fifth, you should know the tone of a word. Now, due to constant usage, some words have a particular tone. Now, okay, you cannot change it. Now, you have to know what it is. Especially, is it a positive word or a negative word? Let me take one of my favorite words. Chauvinism. All of you would be knowing the meaning of the word chauvinism, chauvinism, which actually has a positive meaning technically. It means super patriotism, being overly dedicated to a particular thought or an idea or whatever, or a person. Taken from a gentleman in Napoleon's army. His name was Chauvin, right? And he was super patriotic towards Napoleon. That's what the book says. That's what the myth or the history says. आजकल इस पे भी debated myth क्या है और history क्या है. So that word is taken from him, right? Chauvinism. But over the past 50 years or so, this word has been used in only one sense, which is male chauvinism. What is male chauvinism? A man who believes the belief that men are superior to women. And such a person nowadays is called an MCP also. A male chauvinistic pig. A male chauvinistic pig. Well, women don't know animals properly. I know that. Otherwise, they would have never said all men are dogs. A dog is the most faithful animal on this planet. That's not what women mean when they say all men are dogs. Okay, it's a YouTube live session, I know, but you can laugh at jokes if you feel like laughing. Okay? No problem with a couple of laughs while learning English. Absolutely no problems. Anyway, so if you use the word chauvinism in any other sense today, क्योंकि with tradition a certain usage has been ascribed, attributed to a certain words. Now you can't change it. You can't argue with people that that's not the original meaning. You can't argue with people like that. Clear? जैसे simple है. Let me give you another example. Bold, brazen, a bouquet I hope I am spelling it correctly, writing the correct spelling. Bouquet and wreath, both are a collection of flowers. But a bouquet is what you give to a person of the other sex, most probably on Valentine's Day. Most probably is a mathematical statement, okay? I am pretty liberal, by the way. Wreath is a group of flowers you place on the tomb or the dead body of someone. Now, both mean a collection of flowers. So you go to your girl and you say, I've got this wreath of flowers for you. And if she knows somebody will be laying a wreath on your body, maybe within a couple of hours, you know what I mean? Correct? So, always be very cautious. And that is why, told, whenever I face challenges in my life, I will be bold enough to face them. You won't say I will be brazen. You say a brazen violation of the rules and regulations. Why? Because with tradition, this has got a negative connotation, this has a positive connotation. Right? So, tone of the word is important. Then, any GK or any etymology associated with the word. Any GK or any etymology associated with the word, well, you should know it. For example, there are some words in English which have been derived from the name of a person. Chauvinism. Then you have another word. Machiavellian. Taken from the name of the famous, I think, Italian philosopher Niccolo Machiavelli, who wrote a book called The Prince, in which he advocated very horrendous ways to stay in power. Why is it important to stay in power? How to stay in power, and so on. So anybody exhibiting that tactic, we will say it's a very Machiavellian tactic. Machiavellian tactic. Etymology we have, you take a root, you figure out the meaning of the root, okay, and then using that root, any word which has that root, you should be able to guess the meaning or remember the meaning. It's very important. It's very important. For example, suppose I take a word philanthropy. Usually we use this word for people who donate millions of dollars to charity. Now this word itself has two roots. One is a root called philos, Philos, which means love, and anthropos, which means mankind. So philanthrop essentially would be a love for mankind. And that is the reason why he is donating millions of dollars to charity. That is the reason why he is donating millions of dollars to charity. So you have many words. With anthropos, you have many words. With philos, you have many words. In fact, with anthropos, you have the exact opposite, misanthrope. Anthropomorphism. Anthropocentric, centered around humans. Please note down whatever you want. Now, when I say centric, it means the prefix describes what is it centered around. Right? Earlier, the belief was, at least in Europe, the belief was the universe is geocentric, centered around the Earth. Then along came Galileo, Copernicus, etc. And then, now, it's a settled fact that the universe is heliocentric. Helios. But and our ego, We have started believing that the universe is anthropocentric, centered around mankind. Every other species is there to serve me. That's a very anthropocentric view of the world. That's a very anthropocentric view of the world. Right? I just used the word heliocentric. Helios is sun. Right? So you have a word heliocentric. Heliocentric. Have you, before you get to the meaning of heliocentric, I hope you have heard about the word idolatry. What is idolatry? Worshipping an idol. Worshipping an idol. Okay. Latria, Latria, is worship. Latria, I think it's Greek. I'm not very sure. Latria is worship. Idolatry, worshipping an idol. Helios is sun. Latria is worship. So what would be heliolatry? Worshipping the sun. Exactly. That's how etymology helps. That's how etymology helps. Okay? Not just in remembering the words, not just in knowing the words. And remember, अभी तो हमने philos छोड़ दिया, अभी philos से लंबी लिस्ट आई है. Philanderer, philogamist, philogamist or gametophile. Philosophy, Sophia, the Greek goddess of wisdom. Philosophy, a love for wisdom. A philanthrop, उसको opposite है misanthrope. Anthropomorphism, giving something the form of a human, because morph is form. So you have morphology, you have anthropomorphology, you have metamorphosis, you have amorphous substances. Chemistry are amorphous substances, substances which don't have a particular form, which don't exist in any particular form. We used to call them amorphous. They don't have a form. They exist as a fine powder. And then there were crystalline elements, if you remember your chemistry. तो ये फायदा होता है etymology. Remember, as long as words are isolated points in your brain, they'll keep vanishing. The best way to remember vocabulary is to tie the words together using a very strong rope. And etymology is the which will help you tie the words together. जैसा एक घास का तिनका आपने जमीन पे रखा, हल्की सी हवाई तिनका हो, बहुत सारे घास के ऐसी तिनके आप एक रस्सी से बांध के रखिए, जोर से हवाई को भी नहीं होगा. ये एटिमोलॉजी और जीके का इंपॉर्टेंस होता है इन वोकैबुलरी. Okay, and remember, this stays with you. This stays with you. ये आपका इंजीनियरिंग नहीं है जहां आपने एग्जाम दिया, शाम तक सब भूल गए. पता है ना, ये मेरे को हमेशा मिक्स करता है about engineers in India. Not only do they memorize with an expiry date. I have never been able to understand how that is possible. मैं ये नहीं बोल रहा हूँ कि मुझे सीए का बहुत कुछ याद है, बट कुछ तो अभी भी याद है. Though it's been 26 years since I became a chartered accountant. कुछ तो मुझे अभी भी याद. आजकल के बच्चों को देखता हूँ, मेरे को थोड़ा सा टेंशन आ ही जाता है. क्या? Right? Please keep on sending your comments in the live chat. Though bouquets and big bags both are welcome. There's absolutely no problem. We are very open. Any issue with the sound, any issue with the camera, Please let us know so that we can rectify them immediately. 6 ही हुए. The acid test. The acid test. Usage. This is the acid test. I give you a word, give me the meaning. Give me the sentence. And not just any stupid sentence. Give me a good sentence which adds some value. For example, magnanimous, which means generous or large-hearted. Don't give me sentences like he is a very magnanimous person. I don't care about such sentences. Give me a sentence like if all the rich of the world become magnanimous, no one would be poor. Give me a sentence with some dark humor. If all the rich of the world become magnanimous, the inflation rate would be 1000%. Because that's what economics actually says. If you want a very live and recent example, go through the Venezuelan economic crisis. You'll understand what I'm trying to say. The basic reason why I'm against a few forms of running the economy. Anyway, that's not our concern. Our concern is because that's what you are doing your MBA for. No? You want to do your MBA for social service? Good. So when I say you should know a word, this is what I mean. This is knowing a word. This, with these many words, and by God you are through. Remember, we are talking about throughout our sessions. We will be talking about the level of preparation that would take you up to 99%. We are talking about a level of preparation that would take you up to 99%. If that is not your objective, discount whatever I am saying. If that is not your objective, discount whatever I am saying. Our objective is to take you above 99. In all the areas, not just English or whatever, across all the areas. And what kind of preparation do you need for vocabulary? You appear for these 3 exams and there is not a single word in the exam which is new to you. There is not a single word in the exam which is new. That's when you have prepared. That's the level. That's why we are taking this session 1 year before your CAT. Because it takes time. Unfortunately. Right. Okay? Right. So ये सब तो हो गया. Very good. Only 10 to 15 minutes are left. How do I actually prepare? How do I actually prepare? All this is very good. Okay. Prepare कैसी करूं? Prepare कैसी करूं? सिंपल सी चीज है. देखिए 3 चीजें हैं, मैं आपको बता सकता हूं. 3-4 चीजें. अब कौन सा फॉलो करना है आपके ऊपर. मेरा फेवरेट मेथड जो है वो मैं आखिरी में बताऊंगा. कौन सा फॉलो करना है ये पूरा आपके ऊपर. ओके. फर्स्ट, you must have heard about the book What Far Made Easy by Norman Lewis. What Far Made Easy by Norman Lewis. Okay, that is a book. Then you can use flashcards if you want to. Then you can use flashcards if you want to. Next trick number 2. So what was the first? Norman Lewis, Word Power Made Easy. Right. Then you can, as I said, use flashcards. Third is you can read a lot, because this is a trick which is subscribed, though I don't subscribe to it much. Reading a lot helps if you want to improve your reading comprehension, not if you want to improve your vocabulary. And my personal recommendation, watch a lot of English movies in English with subtitles where people sit and talk. Three conditions. English movies in English with subtitles where people sit and talk. I have eliminated most of the movies you have seen. I have eliminated the entire Marvel universe, the entire Fast and Furious series, and so on. With subtitles, remember. Note down all the words which are new to you. Very easy. Make a list of the pictures which are nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars. Watch all of them. They would be on some OTT platform, or you would know the meaning of the word torrent. So, with subtitles. Make a note of all the new words that you have. Okay. Now, at the end of movie one, maybe you have 50 new words, or 40 new words, or 30 new words. Now, go to a paper-based dictionary, go through the trouble of locating the meaning of the word in the dictionary and writing it down in your register. You have to go through that trouble. Take a day's break. Now, before you watch movie number 2, read through all the words of movie number 1. That's it. Repeat, 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 repeat. This should be your basic vocabulary preparation. To that, you add the Norman Lewis and the flashcards per card and a bit of reading. And your vocabulary, by the time you go for CAT, would be on the level which you need to get a 99+%. Remember, and now you might take more than a day to watch a movie if you watch it like that, depending on how many new words are there. You might take more than a day. It's fine. No issues. Absolutely no issues. Okay? इतनी मेहनत आप अगर करेंगे एक साल के लिए, तो गारंटी ये तीनों एग्जाम में ऐसा एक भी वर्ड नहीं रहेगा जिसका मीनिंग आपको नहीं पता. एक भी वर्ड नया नहीं रहेगा. लेट मी पुट इट दैट वे. वहां पे उसका मीनिंग याद आएगा कि नहीं, ये तो डिपेंड करता है आप स्ट्रेस कितना ले सकते. क्योंकि क्या एग्जैक्ट आप जब देखें तो स्ट्रेस बहुत रहेगा. ऑफकोर्स रहेगा. आपको क्या लगता है? और आपने जाके देखें somebody needs a stress. So that is a small orientation on vocabulary, types of questions, what is vocabulary, how do they check vocabulary in various exams, and a few tips on how to prepare. Right? Thank you very much. Do keep joining us every day from 5:30 to 6:30. Right? This is the second session. Remember, there will be 8 more sessions after this. Right? Now, some of the content here would be a repeat of what we have put on YouTube, but this was a live session, so the presentation style is a bit different. Plus, if we wanted to introduce various topics and orient you on them, some repetition is always going to be there. Okay? So, please keep attending. There is absolutely no study material for today. Right? The study material for yesterday, if you go to yesterday's live session, you will find a Google Drive link. You can download it from there. Okay? So please keep attending. All the best for your CAT. Thank you very much.